Hello friends, I am back with a new video. My channel name is Information TV. Today's topic is about cricket and is about West Indies cricket. It's an analysis from giants to minnows, the definitive fall of West Indies cricket. Let's start the video. The contrast has been too stark to escape notice. Over the last few weeks, the cricketing gaze has largely been at the evenly matched, intense game seen in the ongoing Ashes Test series between arch rivals England and Australia. At the same time, the touring Indian team 1-0 Test series win against West Indies in the Caribbean has hardly caused any ripple, keeping aside the overkill factor in the round the year cricketing calendar. The reactions to the Caribbean tour, or rather the lack of it, is one more telling sign of the definitive fall of the Caribbean team, from being the past giant to joining the list of minnows in world cricket. Far from discussion on what was seen as a foregone conclusion, the chatter in the series was more about some individual performances and some experience that the Indian team did with the batting slots and the pace bowling battery. That meant the test debutants Jaiswal and Mukesh Kumar did evoke sporadic interest, but the lack of contest on the field was hard to compensate for. In fact, by the end of a short test series, bemoaning the decline of the West Indies as a strong force in world cricket became the subtext to the commentary on the series. In fact, such lament over a languishing side became the defining emotion for the few who kept an eye on the series. As in the rest of the world, the legendary West Indies team of the 1970s and 1980s is stuff of lived memory for older generations of cricket lovers in India and folklore for the current generation. One may see the current dismal state of the Caribbean team as the debris of once proud empire, a pale shadow of its former self. It seemed that its presence somehow is in a haste to shake off the formidable legacy against which it is being constantly mired. And lamented, it is a legacy that evokes powerful image of its once fearsome pace attack, the great flair of its battling swords approach which carried an aura of an invincible winning machine. In many ways, the somewhat melancholic tone with which the cricketing world now chooses to talk about the West Indies team has meant that nostalgia about its past glory creeps in somewhere. This is often a nostalgia for what once was the very idea of dominance in world cricket and the natural flair the Caribbean heroes brought with a very distinct band of game. To remember that era is to remember Clive Lloyd, the best spectacle captain who was closer to your idea of a school principal than that of an elegant left-handed batsman. It means recalling the feared pace quartet of Roberts, Holding, Garner and Croft, later making way for other legends like Marshall, Ambrose and Walsh, and of course revisiting the incomparable batting legend Vivian Richards, giving company to stalwarts like the opening pair of Greenidge and Haynes. It was an era with varying degrees of success under Lloyd and Richards, when the West Indies team went on to conquer most of what it surveyed. They, for instance, didn't lose a test series for 15 years. The downhill journey from the mid 19 has the makings of a Shakespearean tragedy. But the winning percentage might be an unjust measure to gauge the team's appeal. If you are stuck in counting wins and losses, you perhaps don't understand the Caribbean brand of cricket. The team had and to an extent continues to have so much to offer beyond the binaries of wins, losses, and numerical fetishes of records. In terms of chronicling the era, the past decades might have missed the great powers of cricket. Writers like Neville Cordus or Trinidad historian C.L.R. James, but it found some late favor with visual arts for people who might not even be following cricket and for cricket fans in their teens or even in their early 20s. Stephen Riley's 87-minute documentary film Fire in Babylon, a British production released in UK in 2010 which came to India in September 2012, could provide a historical narrative of those high known years of Caribbean cricket. Within the tale of a team's journey, Riley's documentary had woven together the subtext of identity politics, the undercurrents of racism in post colonial sporting rivalries, and the distinct cultural appeal of calypso cricket. Something, however, wasn't complicated back in the islands. The calypso Milo of Caribbean cricket sets it apart and even makes the results of the games redundant. It's refreshing to know how generous and rhythmic the grounds and streets can become in these islands, impressing as well as remembering the great performance of even the visiting teams. Sample this. In 1971, India achieved a historic 1-0 series victory in West Indies with a win in the second test at Port of Spain, and the series also witnessed the emergence of Sunil Gavaskar as a world-class batsman. In what is considered one of the greatest pieces of cricket, calypso, he later put the India team's achievement and Gavaskar's masterly batting at the center with a composition which had lines like "It was Gavaskar, do real master, just like a wall. We couldn't out Gavaskar at all, not at all." You know the West Indies couldn't out Gavaskar at all. From the cricketing point of view, the most endearing aspect of Caribbean cricket is the natural power flow of things that displayed on the field elegant power. Perhaps describe the impact of their approach. That's how you could describe the blend of grace and force that marked the stroke play of Sir Sobers, Sir Vivian, Greenidge, Brian Lara, the unyusing Hooper, and more recently the Samuels too. This was well complemented by relentless attack from the pace battery and that natural athleticism of fielders and legendary wicketkeepers like De Jong. The most valuable asset of West Indies cricket has been its distinct way of going about its cricketing reflexes. It's interesting to note that even the least flamboyant of its contemporary greats, namely Shivraj Chandra Paul, had the tendency to bat long hours with a technique that defied all manuals. Coming to the Caribbean team, present descent to the margins of world cricket, the decline hasn't been limited to the longer format, but also its performances in the shorter version of the sport. Nothing tells it more stingingly than the fact that the team failed to qualify for the World Cup scheduled later this year. The team decline has been steep not only in Test cricket but also in shorter formats of the sport. The failure to even get an entry into the tournament leaves a grim note for a team which was the champion the first two editions of the premium event in limited overs cricket. In the instant genre of T20 cricket also, it seems to have lost its way after showing initial spark in the format stages of the format's emergence. The Caribbean team is one for which the international cricket wishes to get back all its fierce competitiveness and distinct flair. The rebuilding can take long, but it must find a way out of nostalgic recall and a broadening sense of law to add to the formidable corpus of its glorious history and appear. That's all, folks. Hope you enjoyed the history of cricket, why West Indies team declined so much and failed to enter in the coming World Cup. Allah Hafiz.